This is Dante Williams, and you're watching
Dante's Boxing Nation.
This is Showtime Sean Porter. Filipino Flash, Jesse Burns.
This is Al Bernstein. You're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Hi, I'm Sugar Ray, your chick shape.
Sergio, the last Snake Moore.
Dante's Boxing Nation. Boom, 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 boom.
Yo, this is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder.
My name is Gennady Golovkin.
And you're watching
Dante's Boxing Nation.
Hi, this is Julian Jackson, and this is Dante Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, I don't know what it is about the super middleweight division, but it seems like this is always where the majority of British champions reside. I mean, you go all the way back to Robin Reed, Joe Calzaghe, Chris Eubank, now James DeGale, Carl Froch. Just makes it look like the super middleweight division is a British division, or at least right now it is, with James DeGale taking out American Andre DiRelle by way of unanimous decision. First things first, I want to say congratulations to James DeGale. He surprised me in this fight. Now, I got to be honest, I wasn't real familiar with James DeGale. I mean, I remember watching him in the Olympics, but I didn't really catch a lot of his professional fights. So leading up to this fight, I went on YouTube and I started watching a lot of his fights. And the first thing I noticed is this man was really slow. He was really wide. And his lack of speed seemed to me to just be tailor-made for Andre DiRelle's style. Now, even though I still looked at this as a very close fight, I figured DiRelle would have the edge over DeGale. You know, when it comes to James DeGale and me watching this fight, I was on the verge of giving James DeGale, really high praise when I was watching those first 5 or 6 rounds, because he was so unorthodox. You know, he was confusing DiRelle. He was catching him with shots that came out of nowhere. It looked sometimes like Andre DiRelle was boxing somebody in the dark. You know, and this, his opponent had night vision goggles, and DiRelle didn't know what was coming next. He didn't know what punches to expect, right? That's how this almost looked in those first rounds. I was just so surprised that DeGale could outbox a boxer like Andre DiRelle. When he surprised Andre DiRelle with that overhand left that knocked him down in the second round, that's when I obviously knew that this was going to be a real uphill battle for Andre. DeGale does a lot of sneaky things in there, a lot of crafty things in there. Like, he has his hands down low, but you never really know when he's about to hit you with that jab. And then he also falls in and he'll tie you up. He'll smother you. He's moving 1 minute, next minute he's coming in with a punch, and then he's tying you up. And like I said, he surprises you with the jab. He surprises you with his power hand, which is the left hand, which is how he got the knockdown. You know, so he's a real crafty guy. Now, like I was saying before, watching the first 5, 6 rounds, I was about to give this man very high praise. But after watching the second half of this fight, there's good news and there's bad news when it comes to James DeGale. I don't understand why James DeGale, as good as he was doing, why all of a sudden he would take his foot off the gas and just give away damn near the second half of the fight. If it wasn't for those knockdowns, who knows? We might be looking at a different fight, because DiRelle, he rallied back really strong. Now, the only thing I didn't like about what Andre DiRelle was doing is, number one, he wasn't going to the body. You know, he would get DeGale on the ropes a lot. I mean, he started to go to the body a little bit in the later rounds, but in the earlier rounds, he would back up DeGale and he would just throw these quick 1-2, 1-2 flurries to the head, but he would never really sit down and go to the body. I've always been taught you bang the boxer and you box the banger. But there's an exception to that. Some fighters are so talented and so gifted that they could choose to box the boxer and bang the banger whenever they please. But I think in this situation, Andre DiRelle, he needed to bang the boxer. I think Andre DiRelle, he should have sat down on his punches, came in with the high guard. He should have tried to bully DeGale, almost a Golovkin style, and went to his body, went to his head, broke him down. Andre DiRelle didn't do this. For the most part, Andre DiRelle, he tried to sit back and box. I mean, don't get me wrong, DiRelle was the aggressor, but he wasn't aggressive enough. And coincidentally enough, the strategy I'm giving to DiRelle, this is the same strategy that the boxing commentators in the UK, they were giving to James DeGale. They were saying they wanted to see him do more. They wanted to see him fight a more aggressive fight, push back the American. That's what they were saying, right? So I think if DiRelle would have did this, that would have changed the fight. But he didn't do that. And I think it's because a lot of fighters are not comfortable fighting on the inside. DiRelle didn't seem to be comfortable fighting on the inside, and that's why he didn't do it. I mean, like I tell people, you know, when it comes to like an Andre Ward, when it comes to a Floyd Mayweather, these guys are perceived as boxers, but they are very tough. If need be, they will go in the trenches and they will fight on the inside. We've seen Floyd Mayweather do this against Chop Chop Corley. We've seen him do this against Charmbe Mitchell, fight as the aggressor, right? We've seen him fight toe-to-toe with Miguel Cotto. We've seen Andre Ward do this, you know, try to get on the inside and bang with Carl Froch, with Miguel Kessler. He's done it with a lot of fighters. Andre DiRelle, on the other hand, didn't seem comfortable fighting that type of fight. And that is why he lost this fight, or probably one of the reasons why he lost this fight. But you got to give him a lot of credit because he really did close the gap. And it was a close fight. It was really a close fight, like I said before. If it wasn't for those knockdowns, you know, the scorecards could have been a little different. Now, Andre DiRelle, he did allow James DeGale to steal, I believe, the 12th and the 11th round, which wasn't good for Andre DiRelle. He needed to win all of those rounds. So that's pretty much how the fight went. The super middleweight division is shaping up to be a very competitive, entertaining division. You know, I really want to see if Carl Froch is going to take that fight with Golovkin, because that's going to give us a barometer of how good Golovkin is, or how good he will be at the 168-pound division. You know, will he be forced to come back down to middleweight because those guys are too big and too strong for him, because he no longer has the same type of power advantage that he's used to having at the middleweight and the junior middleweight divisions? We'll see in that fight. But the way this DeGale-DiRelle fight ended, I truly believe that DiRelle would have a chance of beating DeGale in a rematch, because it seemed to me that DiRelle, he started to figure out DeGale in the second half of this fight. And I don't know, maybe it wasn't he figured him out, maybe it's just DeGale lost confidence for whatever reason and stopped fighting in the second half. Either way, the fight was very competitive. So that's all I got, guys. I'm on to the next one.